Hear me out, man. The practice of celibacy is the most powerful supplement for a true spiritual aspirant. Yes, so let me say that again for the people in the back. Listen up, my guy. The practice and the path of celibacy is the most powerful supplement for a true spiritual aspirant. And you might be wondering, okay, man, what the fuck does that even mean? How does celibacy actually act as a supplement for a spiritual aspirant? What does a spiritual aspirant mean? How can I actually start supplementing celibacy? Do I take 1 gram, 2 grams, or relax? Relax. Relax, my guy. Just take a deep breath. Because it's time for your boy to break this bitch down real quick like a brick for y'all. Now, first things first, what you must come to understand along this journey towards spiritual illumination is the fact that celibacy is a key to unlocking your higher states of consciousness. What is required for you to actually ascend spiritually speaking? It requires you to go beyond the compulsive manner of your carnal mind. What is the carnal mind? The carnal mind, or the Hylic mind within the Gnostic tradition, is your animalistic brain that is only focused on 3 motherfucking things: survival, sex, and status. That's all it cares about, and that's all it wants. That is its nourishment, that is its food, that is its source of fulfillment. If you were a dog, as you just saw my dog walk by, that would be your entire life's mission: to survive, have sex to reproduce, and get status within the animal kingdom. But funny enough, you came here as a human. Well, I hope you came here as a human. I don't think you'd be watching this channel. I don't think you'd be watching this video if you were a fucking ape, you were a fucking panda, you're a motherfucking human. Let that marinate in your mind. You came here for something bigger and better than just satisfying the senses and satisfying the overall pursuits of the carnal mind. The carnal mind will constrict your spiritual evolution. Just like a boa constrictor, the snake that wraps itself around its prey and chokes it to death. That is what's happening when the carnal mind is in charge. It's the one calling the shots. It's the one dictating your decisions. It's basically wrapping itself around your true self, your spirit, your soul, to the point where it suffocates it from the inside out. So let that sink in your brain. That's what's happening every single day if you do not actually wake up to this knowledge. Am I saying the carnal mind is evil? Am I saying the carnal mind is bad? Absolutely fucking not. It is an animal inside of you. The animal can either be domesticated and work for you, or it can be wild and rampant and try to actually kill you. I'm not talking physically kill you, but spiritually kill you. If you let the beast run rampant, it's going to deter your path to self-realization. And this is where the practice and the path of celibacy comes into play. When you learn how to overcome your sexual cravings, just like how you learn to overcome your bodily cravings for food and water during fasts, you start to take back control, or take back the steering wheel of your consciousness, of your body, of your mind, because no longer are you going to remain a slave to these sensory compulsive behaviors. You no longer react to them in a sense where they choose where to go, where they choose where to dictate your path. You finally consciously choose to make decisions that get you closer and closer and closer to your dharma, to your destiny, to your divine purpose. Celibacy is like playing this game of self-mastery on expert mode. Yes, you can do your meditations. Yes, you can do your fast. Yes, you can do X, Y, and Z. But when you overcome the most powerful emotion within the human experience, which is sex, which is lust, when it's not converted into a form of fuel for you, if you learn to overcome that, everything else falls into line. I'm not saying your whole life will be better by just practicing semen retention and celibacy, but what I am saying, if you who are watching this video right now are a true spiritual aspirant, which 9 times out of 10, I'm guessing you are, you wouldn't be watching this video if that was not the case. If you're a true spiritual aspirant on this road to self-mastery that will lead you to true self-realization of understanding who you are beyond the brain and body, celibacy might be the missing link, the missing supplement to overall take that foundational practice of sadhanas, of spiritual evolution, of spiritual growth to the next level. Not only is it a practice in itself, but it's also a supercharger for all your other spiritual practices. I like to view it as a pranic amplifier. What is prana? Life force energy. There's many forces or many forms of life force energy. The air we breathe, the food we eat, the water we drink, but also your sexual energy. And your sexual energy, in my opinion, in the teachings of the past, of the teachings of the esoteric, ancient, mystical traditions, they tell us that this is the most potent force of prana because it is straight up cosmic energy, creative energy. It's the only reason that I'm here. It's the only reason that you're here. It's the only reason all these plants, animals, and all that stuff is here. It's sexual energy. When you learn to harness that and actually circulate that through your body, through your psyche, through your soul, it amplifies anything that you do. And of course, if you're a true spiritual aspirant, what you're going to try to be doing is further funnel that energy towards your spiritual practices, towards your meditative experiences, towards your sadhana. Getting closer and closer to raising your levels of consciousness beyond the carnal mind. Not only is it helping you go beyond those stages of consciousness, but it also gives you the fuel to keep on progressing afterwards. That's why it's such a powerful supplement for those of you guys who are true spiritual aspirants, who want to taste a little bit of that motherfucking divine nectar, who wants a nice fucking drink of that, who has seen the other side of this reality. Maybe it's through psychedelics, maybe it's through meditation, maybe through near-death experience, who knows? Who knows? You let me know, actually, in the comment section down below, actually. But it doesn't matter how you saw the other layer of life. You know that once you see that layer of life, like I've said before here on a video already on this channel, once you have a spiritual awakening, once you peer past the veil, the matrix, the mind, the illusion, there's no going back. Once you take the red pill, there's no motherfucking U-turns. This requires you to now take that journey up the right-hand path of overcoming the self. And if you want to supplement that journey, you want to make it quicker, you want to make it more enjoyable, you want to make it happen how it's supposed to happen, celibacy. On a deeper level, not this bullshit that you might see here on YouTube. Oh man, if you practice semen retention for 30 days, girls are going to be flocking after you. Oh man, if you do this for X amount of days, then your glow is going to be this and that. For a true spiritual aspirant, I'm talking to the true spiritual aspirants. If that's you, if you're still on the surface level of semen retention, spirituality and celibacy, this channel is not for you. But I'm talking to the true spiritual aspirants who have seen the other side of reality, who understand that there's another layer to this existence, who understand there's another realm to reality that they can embody, that they can embrace, that they can actually indulge in. That is much better than just being stuck in the material world. I'm not saying the material world is bad, but if that's all there is, if survival, sex, and status is all you got, you're gonna get bored, man. That's a bottomless pit. No amount of cars, money, clothes, and hoes is gonna help you actually ascend to finding your path to true fulfillment, finding your path to true liberation in life. So if you actually are on that path, we're actually trekking along this journey of self-mastery in order to taste and attain self-realization, you must view celibacy as that amplifier, as that supplement to help you further strive towards this path to going beyond the limitations and the barriers of the brain and body. You are now becoming in charge of your life, your decisions, where your prana goes, where your energy goes, where your attention goes, because where attention goes, energy flows. Where energy flows, attention goes. Are you picking up what the fuck I'm putting down? If your energy is siphoned off, if your attention is siphoned off to these lower level pursuits, these lower level desires that only satisfy the carnal mind, that only satisfy the animal within you, that only help the beast further feed itself, further feed that bottomless pit, you're never going to be able to ascend. In order for you to actually ascend, there is a price that must be paid. And this is not monetarily wise. A price that must be paid in your day-to-day existence, the decisions you make, the intent that you walk around life with. What do you strive for? Are you looking to aspire to those higher levels of consciousness that you know, that you've experienced maybe for a glimpse? I always say stuff like psychedelics and all that stuff are a free trial for spiritual freedom. Once you taste a little bit of that, you realize that that's the only thing that will fulfill your soul. Getting aligned with your dharma. Aligned with your dharma, your destiny, your duty. And you might be wondering, okay man, how the fuck does celibacy help me with that? Well, the practice of celibacy, again, helps you raise your levels of consciousness. And that understanding, that understanding of that knowledge, of that inner knowledge, aka gnosis, divine wisdom that can only be accessed from within, that's where your dharma resides. That's where you will find out what it is. And it resides up in these higher faculties, up in the crown chakra, if you want to call it that, because this type of info, this type of knowledge won't be found in books, won't be found in podcasts, won't be found on YouTube videos, whatever. It's only found within you, within your higher faculties. And how do you awaken that? Is by raising your levels of consciousness to those points, raising your levels of energy to those points. Celibacy is an amplifier for that, specifically for that. Forget about overcoming porn. Forget about overcoming sex addiction, just trying to smash a bunch of girls. That's layer one. That's, you finally got in the game. You were just sitting on the bench the whole time. Now the energy, if you transmute it properly towards the right directions, towards your actual goals, towards your actual pursuits on the mental, physical, and spiritual planes, that's when you actually start to see how this game is truly played. That's when you actually start to see your lane being truly paved. And that lane will lead you to liberation, because you are no longer a slave to the senses. You no longer are designing your whole life around the revolving door of survival, sex status, survival, sex status, survival, sex status. This is the cyclical state of consciousness that the masses, the matrix, the Maya, the illusion has hypnotized people into. This leads them to a state where they're no better than, boom, right here, my dog, an animal. You're an animal on an iPhone. If all you think about is survival, sex, and status. You came here for a bigger reason and a bigger purpose. On a base biological level, out of the 4 million fucking sperm cells in your dad's nutsack, you're the one that made it out. You're the one that made it out. And you're telling me that all you came here for was survival, sex, and status? Bitch, please. The universe, God, don't make mistakes. There's a bigger reason to this whole journey that you're on, that you're experiencing within this human vessel for the time being. You got gifted this specific body, you got gifted this specific brain for a specific purpose. Not only that will fulfill you, but also will help raise the collective consciousness of humanity. But in order for you to raise the collective consciousness of humanity, you must raise your own individual consciousness from the lower level carnal mind, the hylic mind, on over to the higher spiritual planes of existence. And the stuff, again, that we talk about here on this channel, such as celibacy, the main channel, the private Patreon community, man, shout out to the fucking private Patreon community. Listen, my guy, wake up. Are you listening? I want you to go look in the mirror right now. Take a good look in the mirror. And I want you to really memorize that person looking back at you in the mirror, that's reflected in the mirror. You are doing that guy a huge motherfucking disfavor by not joining up into the private Patreon community. Not me, the guy that's staring right back into your soul in the motherfucking mirror. You are doing him a disfavor, and that is fraudulent motherfucking behavior, because within the private Patreon community, we are truly unpacking the in-depth and in-detail science of this esoteric path of self-mastery. All these exclusive videos where you will not find here on this channel, on the main channel, matter of fact, anywhere else on YouTube. This is only up in the private Patreon community. This is real deal sauce, real deal game for your motherfucking brain, so you can elevate on all motherfucking planes. You dig what I'm saying? We are unpacking ancient texts, occult lectures, full guides on sadhana practices, spiritual practices, pranayama, meditation, all these different types of things to help you ascend mentally, physically, and spiritually. And if you tap into the Philosopher's Circle, the highest membership tier group within the private Patreon community, you'll get access to our private group chat. We host our bi-weekly mastermind live calls. Yes, sir, 2 live calls each and every single month, bi-weekly. Come on, man, are you picking up what I'm putting down? We hop on a call with me, as well as a community of like-minded men, of like-minded spiritual aspirants who are on this path of self-mastery, who will hold you accountable to your individual journey, who want to see you elevate, who want to see you liberate. If you want to be surrounded with people like that, who actually take the spiritual path seriously, who actually take their physical growth seriously, who actually take their psychological growth seriously, my bad. If you want to be surrounded with people like that, you want to get in more contact with me, have me hold you accountable, have me give you some sauce, some game, and all that stuff, then the Philosopher's Circle is the place for you, my guy. I can assure you that. And for more information about what we got going on within the private Patreon community, check out the links posted in the pinned comment of this video. And not only will you find the link to the private Patreon community, but also links to the other services that we provide here. Whether that be application forms for my personalized coaching program, if you're trying to work with me directly, one-on-one, on how we can start to dissolve the degenerate karmic ties, dissolve the bonds that are keeping you down, that are keeping you in the depths of despair, disconnected from your spiritual self, disconnected from your dharma, disconnected from your destiny, whether it be mental blocks, physical blocks, or spiritual blocks. If you want to actually learn how to disintegrate that, dissolve that, then the program is the place for you. Shoot an application. We'll see if you qualify for all the things that we got going on within the program. If you just want to book a one-on-one consultation call with me, talk about anything in detail and in depth on how we can get you back on track towards your right path, towards your divine path, tap in with that. We got free weekly newsletters, free community Discord server, all that posted in the pinned comment of this video. Make sure you go run it up, man. But like I was saying, the stuff that we talk about on this channel, on the main channel, on the private Patreon community, with the people that I'm working with one-on-one in my personalized coaching program, on the consultation calls, all these things, practices, techniques, tools, ideologies, all that stuff are overall methods in order to get you connected to that source of infinite intelligence that is designed within each and every single one of our DNAs. The true spiritual aspirant, the true spiritual path is the knowledge of self, is the realization of the self, is understanding who you are, what you were really brought here for, beyond just survival, sex, and status. If you keep feeding that beast, you keep feeding that bottomless pit by being stuck as an addict to porn, by being stuck as an addict to sex, by being stuck as an addict to junk food, to consuming social media, to all these things that you know deep down are disconnecting you from your higher self. It is draining you of your prana, draining you of your energy, draining you of your attention. No matter how much you say that, oh man, I read this spiritual book, that spiritual book, this, and that. That's all external. The true wisdom, the true gnosis that you are searching for, of understanding what it is that you are beyond the brain and beyond the body, that type of stuff is not going to be accessed unless you do the inner work. And celibacy, semen retention, all the stuff that we talk about here is the true principles and tenets of that inner alchemical purification process. You are taking all the stains, all the conditioning, all the programming that society has put on you, making you think that you're this, making you think that you're that. You're taking it and washing it all away. Society wants you to remain a slave to your senses, wants you to remain a slave to your stomach, wants you to remain a slave to your sexual cravings. Why? Because you're an animal. An animal is easy to control. A true conscious man on the path of self-mastery is a glitch in the matrix. You can't control him because he's being guided by God. He's being guided by the inner GPS system that directly beams him in gnosis from the spiritual realms. That acts as a Google Maps that leads him back to godhood. That leads him to his true state of enlightenment, his original state, before we de-evolved back to the animal. And in this day and age that we're living in, within the Vedic philosophy, this is Kali Yuga, where carnality, the carnal mind, is at an all-time high, and consciousness is at an all-time low. If you remain complacent, do nothing, the natural pull, the natural stream, the natural current of life is going to pull you to the carnal mind. That's what's stronger right now. But you must go against the current of Maya, the matrix, the illusion, by actually overcoming the self, overcoming those compulsions, overcoming those lower states of consciousness that are constricting you, like that boa constrictor, that are suffocating your spiritual state of consciousness. You must learn how to free yourself from that chokehold. On some UFC shit, on some spiritual UFC shit, you need to learn how to get out of that fucking chokehold. Because if it's gonna keep you in that long time, long enough, you eventually go unconscious, where all you think about, all you do is purely in autopilot mode. You're in reactionary mode. You're not a real conscious being, which 99% of the population is. I'm not saying that, hey man, fuck everybody, you're the chosen one. Absolutely not. This is not a new age spiritual channel. We got a full video breaking down how dumb that shit is here on this channel, titled "A New Age Spirituality Will Actually Stunt Your Soul's Development." We go even further in depth and break it down in further detail on the private Patreon community. We got a full fucking video about that, about how New Age spirituality is a pure psyop for the true spiritual aspirant. This ain't none of that. This is just the truth. The matrix, the mind, the illusion, the mainstream information is being fed to the beast within you. And the more the beast is fed, the stronger grips become. How you slowly but surely start to unravel its grip, its hold on you, is through the path of self-mastery. And celibacy is not only a key tenet in that, but it also is a supplement for the overall journey in itself. You are not going to master the self just by beyond semen retention, just by practicing celibacy. It's a key part of it to actually overcome that second chakra, that second plane of consciousness, that second world that is focused on sex. But once you overcome it, you start to leverage that libido, your sex drive, towards true spiritual growth. It now works for you instead of against you. You are not trying to avoid it, we're actually using it to your advantage. That's what it's all about. How can you hack back into the system and make your brain and body work for the soul, rather than the soul being a slave and subservient to the senses? And celibacy, again, is a huge supplement along that journey, but also is a huge Kickstarter to get you even going. That's how powerful it is. That's why you see so many ancient texts and so many of these ancient teachers talk about the power of it for a spiritual aspirant. Forget about people that are just trying to quit bad habits. That's step one. That's phase one. That's getting from a negative bank account to zero. Some people can remain at zero. That's totally fine. But for you, the people that are watching this channel in specific, what the Fulati will, we're out here in the field, in the flesh, dropping you all that game so you ain't out here looking like a motherfucking lame. You dig what I'm saying? For you guys, I always say this, there's no cuts, no edits. We are talking straight up off the dome, you dig? You guys are more psychologically and spiritually mature and advanced than the masses of society. Again, am I saying that you're a chosen one by watching this channel? Fuck no, you're not. Am I saying this new age spirituality bullshit? Fuck no, I'm not. What I'm saying is maybe due to the karmic chains that you dissolved in the previous lifetimes. Maybe the stuff that you were being gifted in this specific day and age. You were able to grasp these higher level concepts and these higher level topics that most people can't watch a video even for this long. It doesn't even matter if it's about fucking spirituality. We could be talking about fucking baking eggs or baking cakes, whatever the fuck. And they can't listen to it. But you have the capability, the understanding, the understanding that this stuff resonates with you. You cannot waste these gifts given to you by God. You didn't choose this. You did not choose this. This was dharmically aligned for you. The gifts that you were given. Because maybe this is your incarnation for liberation. Maybe this is the life that you actually have been gifted to that will lead you back to the Supreme Source. No longer stuck in the cycle of samsara, the cycle of reincarnation. Being a slave to this overall non-stop churning of being an addict to survival, sex, and status. Maybe this is the incarnation where you actually tap into those higher faculties. You cannot waste that and basically spiritually masturbate. You've probably heard the whole saying of mentally masturbating, where people on this whole path of self-improvement talk about. They watch self-improvement video after self-improvement video, read self-help book after self-help book, yet they never actually apply the info gained. If you're watching this type of knowledge, this type of spiritual wisdom, again on this channel, on the main channel, especially on the fucking private Patreon community, especially if you're trying to work with me one-on-one, if you guys are listening to all that stuff and not actually applying the information, this is just potential power that you can use to ascend to your highest spiritual potential. Potential power and potential aspirations. They're not actually in action yet. You have to be the one that applies it. And it's not going to be easy. It's not going to happen overnight. But if you're just reading spiritual text after spiritual text, watching Patreon video after Patreon video, watching what the Fulani after what the Fulani, what the fuck does that matter? You're basically spiritually masturbating, thinking that you are becoming more spiritual. But in reality, the spiritual path that we just talked about recently, it's about unlearning and undoing all the chains, all the karmic ties, all the overall bonds that keep you down and keep you stuck in a barrier between your higher self and your self that you are in right now. You are stuck in between intuition from the spirit and instincts of the animal. You must intellectually choose which path to take. This is the narrow path, as the Bible says. Intellectually choosing to go against the grain, against the current of what society, the matrix, the mind, the illusion will program you to. It's narrow. Not a lot of people will make it through. Or you can choose the wide gate that leads to hell or destruction or disconnection of the self to the higher planes of consciousness. It's your choice. And you're in the middle right now. The intellect is how you get to that point. And the intellect is how you actually start to choose to make those decisions. And one of the biggest decisions that you can make on this path of self-mastery is embodying the celibate path, the celibate practice. Not, again, just be like, fuck women, fuck sex, this and that, but actually overcoming that bond. Because if we're being honest, man, as men, that is one of the biggest holds that this physical world has over you. That is one of the biggest things that this Maya, the Matrix, has holding onto your balls, literally. You are a slave to sex. You need it to feel some sort of validation. You need it to get some source of dopamine. But what if I told you that you can go beyond that and there's something waiting for you? It's called divine nectar, and it tastes much better than fucking dopamine. Much better. You just have to give up some of this stuff in order to gain some of that stuff. What's your decision? And again, for the people that are struggling on this path, it's not easy. It's not something that's gonna happen overnight. But if you haven't tapped into the Art of Retention ebook yet, you're doing yourself a huge motherfucking disfavor. Because we got a whole ebook, a free ebook for the free 99, breaking out everything you need to succeed on this path of self-mastery when it comes to this practice of celibacy and semen retention. Just type in how to succeed on semen retention on YouTube. You'll find it on the main channel, which is no longer Fulati Fitness by the time you guys are watching this. We have now transitioned on over to the motherfucking Philosopher. Tap in with that channel, the main channel. Watch that video, and within that video, you'll get access to the link that will provide you the ebook. The ebook goes even more in depth and more in detail than the video itself, giving you all the tools, the tips, the techniques you need to actually use this practice for what it's meant to be for a true spiritual aspirant. A supplement, not the end-all be-all. It's not the sun that you're rotating around. It's not the center of the galaxy. A lot of people will praise semen retention celibacy as their new religion. We got a full video of that here on this channel. Don't make semen retention a new religion. It should be a supplement for your true spiritual practices, for your true spiritual progress, for your true spiritual evolution on the consciousness scale. But it shouldn't be the end-all be-all. You still need to address other things. But it gives you, again, the kickstart, but it also gives you the fuel to continue progressing. You overcome the sexual cravings, but now your sexual urges, your sexual energy become a source of fuel that will further feed into your spiritual growth. That's how powerful it is, and this is, again, why they talk about all this stuff. Within the ebook itself, there's a whole chapter called the Ancient Excerpts, talking about all these ancient pieces of wisdom that tell us the codes to crack through the matrix, that tell us the codes to crack through the carnal mind. Celibacy being one of the biggest factors of that. So if you're ready to actually take it to the next level, get that ebook, man. And look, if you're retarded, you dyslexic, you got ADHD, you can't motherfucking read, your boys got you covered with a full audio series of the ebook itself. You can just go on the main channel again, The Philosopher, and you tap into the playlist. Full audio series right there, right in front of you. Pop it in while you're driving, pop it in while you're walking, pop it in while you're going about your day, and get up on some motherfucking game to help you elevate on every single fucking plane, the mental, physical, and spiritual, when it comes to this whole practice of celibacy. And if you need any more guidance, if you need any more support, if you need any more help, if you're a true spiritual aspirant, we got the other services for you. Tap in with the Philosopher's Circle, bro. Tap into the private group chat. Hop into our next bi-weekly mastermind live call. We are a growing community of people, again, who are on the same path of self-mastery. If you want to be surrounded with people like that, have people hold you accountable, connect with me deeper, and get access to all that sauce and game on the Patreon, the link's right there for you. If you want direct one-on-one connection to help guide you along this path, tap in with the application form for my coaching program. Book a one-on-one consultation call, whatever works for you. The game is there for you to take. You got the ebook, you got all these services. There is no excuses. You must actually start to use these gifts given to you by God and apply them into your life. Stop spiritually masturbating and let's start elevating. Let's start liberating. You dig what I'm saying? Celibacy is a supplement for the true spiritual aspirant. Let that sink in your mind. Let that marinate in your motherfucking mind, my guy. Because it's been your boy out here in the field, in the flesh, dropping you out that game so you guys can make these gains. I'm out of here. Peace.